Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn with me, Alpha Pi Omega, and Ukraine. So today I want to do one thing before we start, and that is talk a bit about the situation in Ukraine. It has been a few episodes since we've done that, and I actually found a little piece of news that I think is worth mentioning, if only for it fitting with the narrative that I have been talking about in previous episodes. And that is, you guys are well aware that there's the Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics that have been backed by Russia and Belarus for some time now. A couple of weeks, I think it's 18 days now since the war has been going on, because it's 17th of March. And what I actually found was a little piece of news that the Russians are preparing to declare a People's Republic in and around Kherson. Now, while this might seem like a little piece of news, it is actually very significant because it fits well with two things. First of all, you guys know that I've been talking about the fact that Russia is aiming to neutralize the potential or the potential of Ukraine to be able to utilize the oil that's located near its coastline in this area, and they did that by taking Crimea, thus expanding the territorial waters, and that they also declared these people's republics here, thus making this area that has quite a large amount of oil as well also impossible to utilize. But now this would fit well into the narrative where Crimea has been a burden on Russia, and the fact that they had to transport all of the water via the Kerch Strait. Also, this is just a recap, and they had to pay these exorbitant amounts of money to keep Crimea afloat, because the channel that has been going from the Dnieper River has been blocked. This is significant because if they declared this People's Republic here, they would be able to reconnect the channel and basically steal the rest of the coastline. Because just imagine that it's like, wait, that's too big, but let's say, because there's no frame of reference, so I don't actually know how much 50 miles is, which I believe is the coastal area that belongs to any nation that is controlling the coastline. So let's say that this is the 50 miles around the Crimea, making this entire area unsuitable for mining. If they declared that republic here, that would mean that they would take this entire area as well, probably somewhere to around here, depending how far they would get towards Odessa. I think that they never crossed this river, that they still stopped at this little bay, but I'm not entirely sure because the maps are a bit out of date on the movement of the Russian troops. And I found out that a few days ago there was actually a battle somewhere around here happening. So parts of the Russian forces penetrated deep into the heart of Ukraine, but they were, after 2 days of heavy fighting, repelled and pretty much destroyed because they routed completely. So I'm not sure what the area would be. Now there's also the question of legitimacy of such a People's Republic, but I guess the answer to that is just look at Luhansk and Donetsk. So I'm not sure how that would work. But on the other hand, there is a lot to be said for the support of the people on Crimea and in these areas, which are either voluntary or involuntary supportive of the regime. But I'm not entirely sure how high the support of the population in and around Kherson would be, considering how the city was damaged and what the Russians are actually doing in Ukraine at this point. That is a big question. On the other hand, you should never bet on anyone, holding their ground and standing behind their opinions when they're facing a barrel of a gun. So, can't really hold those people responsible if they decide to support them because they will be coerced or downright forced into something. So we'll see. I just saw it like a one footnote in the newspapers, but I think this might be very significant considering it fits well into the narrative and the goals. Plus, there is a lot to be said for the fact that Russia is getting much softer in the negotiations towards Ukraine, so they might be planning to declare this as a victory, just tear this entire piece and maybe even connect it like this area, just unify it in some sort of separatist state and just claim that's a victory. But we shall see. Before we get to the game, I also wanted to mention one thing, and that is the fact that I have utmost respect for anyone who is in Russia now and is actively protesting. There has been thousands of people across Russia who have been jailed for that. And there is a quote from Star Trek that I really like, which is, if I recall correctly, give me a sec. It's easy to cling to principles when you're standing on a ship intact, manned by a crew that's not starving. Meaning that for us in Europe, it is safe to go on a protest and walk around with transparents. But the people in Russia who do this are in immediate danger. I think that Putin has recently signed a decree that anyone who supports publicly Ukraine or is caught speaking against Russia invading it can face up to 20 years in jail. So, quite honestly, anyone who is in Russia and is actively opposing the regime right now is risking his entire life. And that just deserves the utmost respect. So I think that this shouldn't be forgotten, that people who are in the dissent in Russia now are showing the utmost bravery. So just think about this when you see the footage of the protests in Russia, because while there's nothing really facing us in Europe, it is horrifying kind of danger that they're facing in Russia. Okay, anyway, that's the little window into Ukrainian situation. And I wanted to speak about one thing. You will notice that it's 20th of January 2001, so it's at the exact same date where we left off in the previous episode, but it's not the exact same game. Now, I have been investigating basically what the hell happened with our factories and why we are constructing with only 3. And I actually found that a really, really weird bug. And I'm not sure if it is a bug. Maybe it's not even a bug. Maybe I'm just missing some piece of the big picture. But let me explain. You start the game and you get 5 factories. You go through it. We get up to 6. Everything was going groovy. And then we drop to 0. So some of you have posted comments that the issue is with the economic screen, that we should lower the taxes, and while we should, that would, by the way, force us into deeper debt. I realized that that's not it. We didn't do anything. I really didn't touch anything. So what the hell happened? Well, one of my friends, Blood Raven, has led me to realize that when we got the car production licenses, we also gained the license production of the utility vehicle from both United States and Japan. And that creates 2 licenses. But these were also not the issue. But when I checked afterwards, when we lost the factories, I found out that it does really say that the tax cost is based on... this way. Let me tell it this way. Or say it this way, to use proper English. When I checked the tax cost, I checked it before and after. I found no discrepancies. But when I looked at the actual count of the factories, I found out here that it really started counting from imports -6. And that was really weird, because up until late October 2000, we had no such penalty incurred on us. But then it just pops into existence. And yes, 2 of those factories of the -6 was Japan and United States. But 4 of these that we still have remaining are the Russian imports. And why I consider this a bug is because there's no way to get rid of it. There is absolutely no way to get rid of it. I did my best. Yeah, it's gonna say negotiating licenses here, but if I click on accept, you will see that they will immediately reject it. Yeah, they were declined, and it jumps to -25 negative. And even if I improve the relations as high as I can with Russia, even no matter what I do, basically, no matter how much I try, there is no way to get rid of them, to renegotiate the licenses and get rid of them, because we are bound to have these 1, 2, 3, and maybe there's probably a tank or something that we're getting. No, it's the small arms. It's the 1975 small arms. So we are locked in the game, paying these licenses to Russia without any way out. And what's worse, you don't start with these. You actually do not start with these. You start with factories, with 12 factories, and you do not get any penalties. So I do not know where this actually comes from. There's no change in the game. There is no event. It just at a certain point in time appears and starts to take away 6 of your factories. Meaning that if I just let it go, there would be absolutely no way how we can remove that from our system. And we would just be stuck with 0 factories. So because I learned that, I rolled the game back a bit, and I prepared for it. And once we got the licenses event, I immediately canceled them from United States and from Japan, saving us actually 2 factories. So now that I invest, because the math is a bit fuzzy, but now that I invest into leasing the industrial complexes, we get up to 3. Now this is crippling. I want to make this super clear. This is super crippling. We are down to 3 civilian factories, and we are down to 3 military factories, meaning our industry is in ruins. I'm still going to continue. I'm still going to continue playing the game and try to somehow get out of this. But this is devastating. Like that just takes away all of our chances and throws them out of the window. Now, what I can hope for is the fact that as we get rid of the corruption, as we reform the government, as we continue down the lines and get the economic recovery program, we're going to get to somewhere like maybe 5 to 6 factories, and then we can hope that it's going to continue. Plus, something new that's happened that didn't happen in the original playthrough is the fact that we got Russia investing in us. They're building us a civilian factory, which is fine. But again, until we get there, the industry is completely in ruins. I'll keep it running at 3 factories, but it's going to take an entire year now to finish just this 1 factory, which will be immediately gobbled by taxes. By the time we should get the 2 extra and the 1 extra, so we'll basically gain 4. But the math is we're losing like half of them immediately, so that means we'll get like 2, so we'll be at 5 at the end of this year. It's not good. It's not good. I'm not gonna say it's good, but on the other hand, due to several factors, I was able to actually finish up the officer core in the meantime, because I reinvested the political power a bit differently. So, okay, at least that's one good news in all of this. But other than that, this is just devastating, because by 2005, 2006, Russia can attack us, and we're definitely not going to be ready. I don't know what to do, because with this amount of production, wow, I cannot even imagine how that's going to look like. It's going to be awful. Anyway, I'll see you in an update at the end of the year. Let's see where we get. Welcome back. The date is 16th of March 2002, and it's not good. I'm not gonna lie, all my worst dreams came true. We have spent an entire year and a half, or maybe year and a quarter, working on our economy, and this is what we have to show for it. We got up to 5 factories. It's not great. It's not great, but it is progress. I'm not gonna lie. I would like this number to be at least 8 at this point, but what can you do? We're fighting the good fight. Anyway, we went through a lot of national focuses. We got the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine, which lowered our corruption. We got the judiciary system reformed and the police reform. We went with the Anti-Corruption Action Plan, dealt with the oligarchs, and now we got the Economy Recovery Program. What I actually think we're going to do next is fight against bureaucracy, because that's going to give us extra political power, is going to increase our daily political power gain, and lower the tax cost and increase the stability. So I think that might be good. It also increases the production efficiency cap by 10%. Now, there's a number of other things like the education reform, healthcare reform, the revolution of dignity, and so on, which will give us additional lowered tax cost, which I believe... Okay, you don't, but you do. That's 2%, 4%, 6%, and this would be 8%. Okay. So we're going to lower it by additional 8%. So consumer good tax cost will be something like 37. Right now we are using 11. Okay, so needed 7 is 11. So if you lower that, that's at least, that might be 2 extra, quite honestly. Needed 7 industries 11, so if the math is okay, we might jump to 7, so that is not that bad. That is not that bad. Though I'm not gonna lie, this is with the lease. What is it called? I always forget. Lease industrial complex is active, so that's 3 extra. But yeah, if we get to 8, that is fine. And also our tax income is much better now that we are upgrading this. It might not look like that because we got minus 14 billion, but we just finished the economic recovery program, which cost 15 billion. So without that, we are actually at a weekly balance of minus 0.5, and I think we were somewhere at like minus 2.2. So we're doing better. It's also because we got better relations with the international bankers, which is fine. They increase the resource gain efficiency, give us a boost to construction speed, and lower the interest rate. Unfortunately, the oligarchs are really, really mad at me right now. I think the relations... Actually, it's 25. It's so... Okay. So we get plus 65 here and minus 25 here, and that is way worse. Okay. Also, the farmers hate me, but I don't know why. I guess after the elections it might reset or something. We'll see. But as the corruption has been dropped to widespread, we're going to continue tanking it down to medium. And then we might take actually a chill pill, because it won't have such a big difference anymore, especially at the tax effect. So we might just go to medium corruption. I think that might be enough to remove the kleptocracy, which I actually really hate. So hopefully that might be it. But if that goes away, I'll stick with the medium corruption, just saving to get rid of the oligarchs. I would like to get the small and medium businesses. Hopefully that's going to be possible, but I guess we'll see. We'll see. The farmers are here to stay. Do they really, really hate me? That's kind of interesting. Huh. Okay. Still, we need to get rid of the oligarchs, because that's just not where we want to be. Okay, so with that said, that's the political progress. You can see that we actually did quite well. Let's finish the bureaucracy and then go with the... I guess these are going to increase the tax cost as well, but it has to be done. It has to be done. The invest in the National Academy of Sciences and the SSAU is also a good idea, so let's go with that. Okay, with that said, I wanted to speak a bit about the production. I actually did some changes here due to the fact that we were building the IFVs and we were building the... What was it? Oh, the C3 equipment, yeah. And both of these actually require something we don't have, which is the technology metals. And that was dragging their production down. So I decided that until we can import those, let's start building some, or constructing some, or producing some APCs and more small arms where we are really lacking, because these we can produce with what we have, and they will actually, benefit from the increases of efficiency much more than our other production would. Plus, we actually could start with the reform of the military soon. Now we still have a lot of IFVs and APCs in store. We got some artillery, self-prepared artillery and stuff like that. So I think we might, and so also the main battle tanks. So I can start changing the unit templates to, I guess, incorporate these units that we have that we're not using otherwise. And just deploy them on the battlefield even though they are aged. Speaking of which, let's move forward to the officer corps. So we're almost done here with most of the things. We're just missing the spirit of division command, and I'm saving that because these take bonuses from tactics, and I actually don't have that many tactics at this point. We had some, and these are different, and we can't take any of these. So okay, so that's why I'm not doing this anyway. I wasn't aware that we already had a choice of 4. There was like 20, then they all disappeared. Now we have 4, but these all take some bonuses. You can see well-planned attack, breakthrough, so I'm gonna take them once we get to them, because if you check, we have managed to get the 21st century re-evaluation, which gave us a lot of extra command power, army experience, navy experience, and we moved that one immediately into decentralized warfare, which gave me a division defense of 1. I think from here I'm gonna go to coin with effective counter-insurgency operation, or coin. We can integrate and synchronize political, security, economic, and informational components that reinforce governmental legitimacy and effectiveness while reducing insurgent influence over the population. So that gives me tunnel rats strategy. Actually, that counters tunnel warfare. Yeah, tunnel rats counters tunnel warfare. So that could be good. Then you got urban operations, unlocks coordinated search, counters guerrilla warfare, the 3-dimensional warfare, ribosome maneuver. I don't think that's useful for us at this point. It would probably be much better with something like unrestricted warfare, or probably autonomous combat cells. No, that's militia. I don't want that. Well, the decentralized initiative could be good. We could get boost to recon and some bonus to tanks and urban. Okay, that's a siege warfare. What about you? You give extra recon. There's organization or initiative, planning speed, recovery. Yeah. They did a lot of changes here. From these ones, none of these are very useful, so I guess I might go with the unrestricted warfare to get the bonus to recon for now. But these are good for tactics, though this will not help us against Russia because that's counter-guerrilla. Same. So this is counter-guerrilla. And I'm not sure what would help us against the network-centric warfare. Okay, we'll have to see. So anyway, we get some military doctrines, some life doctrines. We get some naval doctrines. We didn't get any air doctrine yet, but we will. Though, if you check, we have the centralized control now, giving us extra fighter detection and air mission efficiency, and we are done with all of these navy commands. So, I'm already working through the radar patrol. We're gonna get the capital ship raiders. Okay, next. That's gonna be interesting. So, that is also working well for us. You can see that we're getting quite a lot of daily army experience. Not so much in air, not so much in navy, but it's fine, you know. It is fine. And with that said, we'll have to see if I will start in the next year reforming the units, or if we're just going to focus on the doctrines. But I think I might reorient myself on the armies now, because they, we need. Jesus Christ! Looking at that, it's just goddamn. Well, I didn't want to see that. Anyway, last but not least, research. Construction 1 has been finished, so we're working on construction 2 now. We finished the microprocessors, now we're working on microcomputing. And we finished the industrial, what was it called? Can I remember? Industrial electrospun nanofibers. Polymeric nanofibers, forgot about that. And now we're working on the multivolt carbon nanotubes, so yay for us, I guess. No change in neural network revival yet, but well, we could get the data mining next, but I think I might actually go ahead and look into either this or the guns. No, we are well ahead of time, so maybe the tanks? Wait, we can see that here, right? What the tanks require. Yeah, they require technology models which we don't have, so that's just not good. What artillery? This would be flat. Oh, actually we could get this one with the 50 experience points. Why game? Also technology models. Then we'll just have to start importing those. There's no way around it. Manpad's the same. Damn. Resources are quite a big hog in this version. So we might just go with one more round of electronics and then just go with the hand weapons and the APC. And the IFE requires this, but what can you do? Once we get the extra military factory, you are going to be the next online. And I actually wanted to check how much the railway upgrades cost. 1,000 plus 5,000 per existing railway level. So how would that... This is the capital. So if I wanted to do this... Okay. So you cost what, 5,000? You're not showing me. Yeah, 22. Jesus. 33. 22. 70. Yeah, this is not gonna happen. That is not happening anytime soon. We have absolutely no capacity for that. Imagine how long we're building a civilian factory, which cost what? 38. So we would be done by this probably by the time that Russia annexes us. No. Okay, anyway, let's end the episode by speaking a bit about what happened in the world. So the war in Congo Democratic Republic has been going well for them. They annexed some insurgent groups, which is good. Damascus Spring happened, and I'm kind of surprised by how it's going. Last time it was done within a few days. But this time Bashar al-Assad is resisting. He is resisting arrest, and he's actually managed to get a pretty defensive position here. He's covered by the rivers on one flank, and on the other one, I guess these desert provinces aren't also being that hot to control. So this has been coexisting for nearly half a year now, which is kind of interesting. As far as the United States go, they had the major terrorist attack on the East Coast. Then they declared war on terror through their president, Al Gore. And after that, the Operation Enduring Freedom has started, though not sure if anything is going on here already. I don't think so. Yeah, Hussein is still there, there's no war. So this is gonna come in the upcoming days, I guess. And I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen with Afghanistan this time, because last time they left it pretty much alone. So, not sure. You are non-aligned, and you are the terrorists. Mohammed Omar, Salafist outlook. Damn, they're actually positive in numbers. I'm actually scared crazy of our debt. That's just... But well, 0.5 billion per week is not that bad. If we can maybe boost... Oh, I forgot to mention that. We get stable growth. So if we could get it to fast growth or maybe economic boom, then we would definitely be in positive numbers and could start repaying it. But I'm still ignoring it. Still, this is the important part. Then this part is coming next. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow in the next episode, where we are going to rush through maybe 2 years. We'll see. Anyway, join me then.